Good day, everybody, and welcome to the A Division of the Raccoon Circus League. We are once again going over the drafts and overall explanatory bullshit, but instead of Ty this time, I'm joined by the owner himself, Mr. Ziegler.
Hello.
Do you always have to do that so apathetically, like with zero emotion in your goddamn voice?
Yes.
Fuck you, cunt. Yeah, so basic season bullshittery. Just like with B Division, it'll be an 8-week season and followed by 4 weeks of playoffs. We have 12 competitors for A Division, including our winner from B Div, Mr. Debug, as well as some new faces, as well as just a lot of our repeating lads, such as myself. Anyway, let's get right into this. Going through draft order, first off we have Rotom Washington Wizards, who again, I still hate their team name.
Yeah, very funny team name. Pretty much just ripped off the MDA team, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I guess in terms of his draft overall, I really like his Fairy Dragon Steel Core.
Yeah, it's definitely the best in the draft, no doubt.
I think it's the absolute best of the draft.
I would argue it's close to the best possible, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, can't get much better. And I think his speed tiers are in a very good place. I don't think there's too much outside of a base 100 that can really...
Yeah, I think having 102 down to 86 is a little bit too much of a gap.
Yeah, but aside from that, it's okay.
Yeah, it's a fairly good speed. 126 and 116 are both good. 102, it's always good to have something just above 100, as a lot of mons are at 100.
Yeah, definitely. I think he has really good removal as well with both Glamora and Talonflame.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he has really good win con options.
I mean,
Gyarados.
Realistically, Valiant, King, Chomp, Gyarados, those are all easy win cons, with as well as King and Volcanion as like sub win cons. Realistically, he only has like 2 or 3 Pokemon that can't really be considered win cons in any way. Hey,
100%, and I think that gives this draft, despite being small, a lot of options. Aside from his FDS core being ridiculous, yeah, Gyarados with the ground Terra makes for a very scary win con.
Yeah, Dragon Dance, Moxie Earthquake will just fucking rip through teams.
Yeah, I can't quite understand completely why Chansey is on the team. I mean, maybe for a bit of...
I was going to say, I think he... Special-wise, he doesn't have too much defense, so I think maybe he just wanted to up the team's SPDF, realistically. But I also think Volcanion would have been fine for that.
Yeah, I just thought it was a bit out of place. I feel like, I guess he just needed a Cleric is all.
Yeah, definitely. Can Chansey Wish Pass by chance?
I think it can.
That's gonna have, like, that'll, like, do, like, 80% HP to most mons.
Yeah, so that's probably why he did it. So I guess if that's the case, it's not a bad pick. Also gets rocks and a lot of utility as well, but I guess just overall, it's one of the stronger drafts, I guess, in my opinion, especially offensively.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any really crucial types he's missing. He's got like pretty much everything covered.
Yeah, he's got most things covered, except he's pretty psychic weak, because once King Gambit goes down, he's got no resists at all across his team.
Yeah, he's pretty much relying on Chansey otherwise to take...
yeah, but even then, Psyshock will just say fuck you, especially Terra Psychic. That's even worse for it.
So if Gambit were to go down, which most Psychics get, like, Focus Blast and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably where the team falls short, but I guess overall, the biggest weakness in this team is his logo.
Yeah, 100%. There's a couple in there where I've just put like stupid things in pros or cons just because I don't like them, and it's fuck it, it's my video, I can do what I want.
Yeah, 100%. I would say as well, like, I put him in number 8, simply just because I thought his draft was good. It's hard to tell with the newer players where they're gonna finish on the ladder. So I took a bit of a stab in the dark in this one. I was tempted to put Chris there, but Chris has a bit of a tendency of
drafting well and
lower
falling.
than he should. But we'll get to that when we get to.
Once again, he's one of our new guys. As his name's literally I don't know because he hasn't give us anything to call him by realistically. His Discord name is Zai, but that's I don't really know if that's what he would go by realistically, but But yeah, with him being a fairly unknown player, we've put him low and no one's really to back him, as you'll see later on. We have another new guy, but he has backing from a very good player, so I have faith that he's fairly good. But
I guess any last things?
I was gonna say, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? As you can see, I added name because I also don't like its name. I think that's it. He's also got for his things that are other lacking resist. He has like a lot more options. Like he has 3 flying Ingmons or levitate as well technically, as well as like electric. He has a quad resist and an immunity, as well as a Terra Ground, giving him another immunity as well, which makes things a lot easier to work around. But yeah,
aside from that glaring psychic weakness, he's doesn't have like a lot of holes.
No.
Type wise, I think he's got most things covered.
Yeah.
He should do well. Depending on, I guess, how good of a player he is. He should be like up and around the 8 to 6 range, I'd say.
I'd say 9 to 6, but yeah. It's probably also worth mentioning these placements were kind of put in before the draft. Like it was like early in the draft. It was like round 3 or 4 where we made these placements. There would be a few changes now, but we'll leave it. So I think that'll be all for Mr. Washtom here. Moving on to our number 2 pick, we have Umbreon.
Yeah, another very strong team, I would say.
I think Pro is just Chen Pal's existence, honestly.
I think the speed tiers here are good too. There is a pretty big gap between 181.
Definitely.
And Slitherwing. Having said that, Slitherwing does get first impression, so there is a bit of like forgiveness.
Yeah, the priority helps there as well.
Yeah.
It's also Terra Bug. I think a Terra Bug, like Protosynthesis boosted at first impression, will rip something in half. I don't know what, but it'll do a lot to something.
Yeah, I really like just the overall combination of Chien Pao and Slitherwing, just both super physically powerful.
For sure.
Skeledirge too. I mean, I haven't played Skeledirge against Skeledirge myself, but I heard Torch Song.
I was gonna say it's like its majority of its stick is Torch Song which is just like better fucking not bullet punch, power up punch, but like 80 base power or something and special attack instead. But it also is bulky with slack off. So it kind of set up and heal itself easily.
Yeah, for sure. And Arena Trap Dug Trio is always going to be scary to lock electric types in.
Yeah.
Gastrodon, extremely good with the addition of all its hazards.
Yeah, I got all those this generation.
I would say one disadvantage to the team that isn't listed here. It is listed. I'm just blind. It's a lack of removal. Really, the only proper removal he has is through Serena, and with a meta that's like so dependent on hazards because everything on the planet gets spikes now. You don't want an 8-point Serena to be your main form of removal.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to assume that he thought Zapdos kept Defog here.
Yeah, possibly. It unfortunately got removed, but...
And hence why I put him so low for my pick. I don't like the lack of removal. And I feel like a lot of his mons, outside of like Enamorus and Zapdos are all grounded. So he may struggle there. He might have to use boots on a lot of his mons.
Yeah, that's definitely a fair call. I put him quite a bit higher because even though in his first season with us in what was that, season 6, he played and I thought he was pretty trash. He came like second or third last, but then last season he came 5th or 6th. He did better than you even.
Yeah,
And
he had one good season. And you know,
I'm putting my faith that he'll at least do like middling playoff area, like low middle kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. He'll be around that like kind of bottom to mid range. I think. I definitely think he has a shot for finals, but just the glaring weaknesses in the draft. Also one we didn't cover. His ice weakness too.
The thing is, he only has 2 resist, and one of them's Chan Pao, which I wouldn't exactly call a resist either.
Yeah, I mean, look, his resists to ice aren't the worst, but you take those 2 away, and there's not really much that takes it too well. So yeah, look, I'm not like overly confident he can make finals. He can definitely do it, but he would have to like really play well with these win cons in Chien Pao, Slitherwing, Skeledirge. I assume can be a win con. It's a bit slow. Maybe Dugtrio at certain times.
Yeah, Skeledirge definitely can be a win con, like no doubt. It is slow, you're right, but it's got good bulk and like it's like a basic tank. It's slow but with good bulk and good offense as well, you know?
Yeah.
So it can definitely get the job done.
Could be interesting too. Doesn't like stored power or something.
Yeah, it's a iron defense stored power kind of bullshit.
Looking forward to at least seeing that at one point in the season.
I was gonna say
he's got options.
Yeah, he definitely has options, but they're not the greatest.
I will say I liked the other draft better. Rotom Washington Wizards.
Yep, that's fair.
We'll see how he goes.
Yep. All right, let's move on to our 3rd draft pick, Greninja. There's not many like pros and cons because I you know what, I'm gonna Sean. There we go. That's a
that pretty much sums it up right there. You could have had just that in the pros, and that would have been enough to summarize it.
Yeah.
Obviously the best player in the league.
By a long shot, unfortunately.
Has won the last 4 of the past 6 seasons.
No, it's 4 of the 5.
Oh, 4 of the 5. Okay, my bad. 4 of the 5.
Yeah, season 1 was Rose, season 2 was Skyquake, then and whatchamacallit, 3, 4, 5 was him, then 6 was Mez, then 7 was him again.
So yeah, incredibly strong player, and as you can probably expect, incredibly strong draft. I think
talk about ultimate stall.
I think Goldino, Hydreigon, and Screamtail is by far the most defensive and possibly best FDS core in the league.
It's probably the most defensive FDS core. I'd argue that too.
The reason I say that is because there is no weakness between Goldino and Hydreigon, and Screamtail coming in with fast Wish passing. It's
not to mention
it's
another stored power fuckery mon.
Yeah, with lots of utility and coverage.
Oh yeah. This team has so much fucking hazards on it, it's honestly fucking stupid.
It's ridiculous. And you throw Clodsire, Quagsire in there.
I was gonna say, man's got the sires, you know? He's come to fucking stall. Not to mention Lug and Cole as well.
Yeah. Avalug, Colossal, both really solid, cheap, rapid spinners.
Yeah.
And then you throw... I really like the value of Thwacky on this team. I think
I was going to say, you love Thwacky.
Yeah, Thwacky, for 2 points, gives you grassy terrain, U-turn. Does it get knockoff anymore? I'm not 100% sure.
I think it was removed. I'm not 100%
Okay, well, that's even still, like, for 2 points, you're getting incredibly bulky grass, can hit extra hard in grassy terrain. Bronzong's also super incredible as a secondary steal. Like,
Yeah,
Just
definitely. Bronzo is a
overall, this
great
team is
middling
just
steal.
super hard to kill, and you've got a very prominent store player in Sean. I think he'll come first by a long shot. I
Yeah.
wasn't too sure at first before I saw his draft, but after it was done, there was no doubt in my mind that he was going to finish first place. He's the ultimate favorite to win this one yet again.
Yeah, you can nerf Store, but you can't nerf Sean.
100%. Yeah, Sean's going to still be out and about doing his thing.
Oh yeah,
Um,
100%.
Very slow team, so it's easy to capitalize.
Yeah, you'll be able to run Adamant or Modest quite a bit in this. I mean, 5 Mons in the red is already bad. Having multiple Pokemon at 80 is not great either, being able to easily speed creep. Even Goldango's fairly easy to speed creep with any like base 100 gets even I think it's like 98. I think if you had a Hydreigon on you could actually ego Modest against Goldango, I think just barely.
100%. And yeah, with Kilowattrel being in the team, that does kind of help his speed, having
Oh,
that really
definitely.
solid speed tier. But
Kilowattrel's one of those
outside of that,
mons
it's
that just
Tail.
Kilowattrel's a lot more threatening than it appears to be. It's kind of like Swellow, where it's just like unnecessarily good for what it is.
Yeah, it's very strong. I would say that about his draft. He's made a lot of value picks.
Oh yeah, for
He's
sure.
got some very good value in his team.
I'm still pissed off he didn't go Terra Water Azumarill, but I mean it's Sean. What did we expect? But like Terra Water Azumarill with huge power and goddamn Belly Drum can literally two-shot Corviknight with Aqua Jet. It's
Yeah,
like it's
it's pretty
fucking
crazy.
ridiculous. Like I know he's a stall player, but that could have been like the ultimate breaker. Like, yeah, it's insane.
Possibly, but Terra Fairy is incredible. Can't go wrong with it on most
Yeah,
mons.
that's true. Yeah,
So yeah, expecting him to have a pretty good season.
yeah, it's Sean. He always does. All right. I think we're good to move on here.
Sure are.
Up next is our boy Ziggler, Mr. Sydney Swanner himself.
Yeah, don't really know what to say about my draft. I guess aside from the fact I really, it's not exactly how I wanted it to turn out to be, but I think I quite like the team.
Yeah.
I like the continuity between Lando and Rotom Wash.
Yeah,
I think,
you've used those lads between each other before. It's a great core.
Yeah, great synergy. They both complement each other type-wise very well, and I think the momentum they provide allow me to get into my very dangerous sweepers.
Sure. One issue that I
very
found with
easily.
one issue I found with your team is that you get destroyed by get the bundler.
Yeah, well,
Like-
not a lot of teams have good answers for that.
No. But like you especially, it's super effective against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's super effective against over half your team.
Yeah, look, you know, like I said, it's hard to have coverage for that thing, but I guess aside from Bundle absolutely shitting on it, I like the utility with Klefki.
Oh yeah,
I think,
having screens and status is really helpful with Klefki.
I think it provides a lot of support for Urshifu and Chi-Yu. And then obviously my speed tiers, pretty balanced out.
Yeah, I like them a lot. 123, 15, 100. I really wish they made Chiyu 101 just to make it that. Just one more speed point would have made it so much better, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And then obviously Terra Normal Noivern.
Yeah,
It's
the
really
Boomburst
hard
King
with
himself.
Boomburst. And Alolan Muck for a very solid poison type to get rid of those toxic spikes.
As well
Something
as
I
having
bring every week.
as well as one of the few monsters to have knockoff still.
Yeah, and probably one of the best, if not the best knockoff in the game.
Definitely knockoff with poison point, definitely.
100%. Then you got some solid Wish Pass on the bottom with Wigglytuff. Unfortunately, it doesn't have Heal Bell, which I realized after, but
That's unfortunate.
it still provides really good utility anyway. And the value in Whiscash, well, if I'm being honest, Whiscash is only there for Sandy Shocks. So look out, Riz.
God damn you, Ziggler.
But yeah, I guess in terms of my placement, I haven't been doing excellent as of recently. I've been very prone to kind of folding under pressure.
He's a big choker.
Well, yeah, I have to put it out in the video. But yeah, I'm not like very good in big battles, in big situations. I oftentimes make the wrong plays, which ends up me losing games that I shouldn't.
Yep.
Hence why I have myself in 7th place here. I would have put myself in the top 4, but anyone can tell you that I'm...
I was going to say, our top 4 lads are like... Honestly, they're like a whole tier above everyone else.
100%. And then you got like the tier under, which is like me, Leafy, Davis, but he isn't playing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I can make the 4, but I don't think I will.
Yeah, I agree. Alright, moving on to my team. I don't know what I was doing when I made most of this team, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of just threw things together and tried to fix it later, which I don't think I really achieved with the Thunderous Berserker Hatchrim. Originally, I was gonna be going Magnezone, Fortress, and Altaria, which had like a lot of great utility between them, as well as Magnezone having some fairly good attack. But I ended up being convinced to go Thunderous Berserker Hatchrim. Thunderous, I found out later, doesn't have a single flying stab. That kind of hurts my soul, but, you know...
Well, that's why Terra Thunderous is a really good thing, because it does give it its flying stab. That
well,
really
unfortunately, we don't have 14-point Terras.
Yeah, no, I was about to say. I really like the speed in this team. I think it's up there with some of the best.
Yeah, it's like third or fourth best after like analyzing all of these. It's like third or fourth best.
Yeah, so it's good speed tiers. I really like the Sneasler pick. Super strong, and I think Zarude and Cleavor will really like complement it very well.
Yeah, I have quite a few hazards. What was that?
Cleavor gets U-turn, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it does. I remember now.
It does?
Yeah, it does. I had to stop and think about that, but yes, it does.
I was going to say, I wanted to be sure before I actually said it.
Yeah.
But yeah, those two getting U-turn is very nice.
Yeah.
Team Lu, although it doesn't kind of roll with the offensive or HO playstyle you're trying to go for, a super bulky ground type that will serve you very well.
Yeah. I think Terra Dragon Haxorus will be a monster. It's got like 147 base attack, plus a stab, plus Terra stab, plus outrage equals death.
Well, anything that's not a steel or fairy type is certainly going to be feeling something. But
yeah.
Haxorus, super good, especially with Terra Dragon.
Yeah, slap a scarf or a band on as well for whatever. Like you can even Dragon Claw will deal a good amount of damage with like Terra Dragon band, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And it's got the coverage to deal with the fairy types and
with both Poison Jab and Iron Head as well.
Honestly, if you were to run Dragon Dance, Earthquake, P-Jab, Dragon Claw every week, I think you'd get away with it.
Oh, definitely. Haxorus is it's that good, honestly. It is a little unfortunate it lost Scale Shot. I think that would have worked really well for Haxorus with Terra.
Also gets the wall breaking option with SD as well, which I really like.
Oh yeah,
help
definitely.
Against people, again, like Sean a lot.
Oh yeah. Except he has like four fairies.
I think Volcarona with boots can be very scary, depending on matchup.
Yeah, Quiver is always a great move, no matter what the situation.
Definitely one of the best, if not the best setup move in the game.
Yeah,
Only very few Mons get it.
Well, that's how you balance it, my friend.
I will say one of my personal downs for this team is the lack of good steal. I think Berserker being your main steal isn't the best.
Yes,
although it was the best you could pick up. I definitely think there were better choices out there.
Yeah, like I said, originally I had like the Magnezone idea in mind, which I think it would have helped me with steals. Like it would have helped me have a good steal, but I don't know if it was better overall. Really, like I showed both team ideas to Gray, and he said this one was better, and yeah, I don't know.
Well, look, nothing that can't be solved by transactions later on.
Yeah.
I don't know when on Earth you're going to use Hatterim in any battle, aside from the meme battle, but...
Well, I mean, it has, like, Healing Wish and some other things. Like, it has some decent utility.
Yeah, I'm sure it does, all of which get shut down by Taunt.
Well, yeah, but, hey, that's still...
Or you could just one-shot the poor thing.
Well, with Everlight, it's actually fairly bulky.
Really? What's its stats?
They're like both in like the 80 range.
Huh. Guess maybe two-shot then. Maybe do about 10% with Dazzling Gleam first.
Well, again, bro, it's like using Clef Key.
I'm really fucking around.
It's like Clef Key. Try using that. Well, actually, offensive, like, with sword power, that means actually not bad, but, like, either way. So that's the...
As for your placement, I really wanted to put you in the 8.
Yeah, same. I wanted to be in the 8, but it's not going to happen.
I just can't see you making it, like, just with the quality of competition that we have and, I guess, the unknown skill of the new players. It's very dangerous territory for you. I noticed you have yourself in last. I don't think you'll do that bad.
I have some anxiety, bro. I don't think I'm going to do well. I mean...
Look,
yeah.
You gotta have some faith in yourself somehow. Like, obviously not last.
I mean, hey, if I go last, I just get to fuck around in B-Div and rematch Josh.
Yeah, just stop him from going in again.
Yes, someone has to be there to stop him. I don't think Rose can.
Well, we'll see what happens. I don't think you'll come last, but anyway.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, moving on, we have our boy Mez.
This team has to be the absolute best draft, in my opinion.
It's the fastest, I'll give it that. Look at these man's speed stats. 150, 122, 110, 106, 2 100s isn't amazing, but still, like, half his team is above 100, which is good enough, honestly.
Well, there's no chance in hell he's bringing Electrode to any game, but...
He brought it week 1, you clown.
Hey?
He brought it week 1.
Did he?
Yes.
I didn't actually see the game. I'm actually surprised. Did it do anything?
I think so. I don't even remember. It didn't get any kills or anything, but like I think it was used somewhat decently. Anyway, that's for the week 1 breakdowns. This video's a week late. Thanks, Ziggy. It's all your fault.
Yep. No worries at all.
You're welcome, buddy.
I really like this whole team, just how it's built, how it's constructed. So powerful. Palafin, Baxcalibur, just those two alone make the draft absolutely amazing. Iron Tread's probably one of the best hazards setters, if not the best in the game, behind probably Great Tusk. Greninja adding some very valuable speed.
Definitely.
Iron Moth, very powerful. I'm not too sure. Does it get Quiver Dance or?
I don't think so.
I only thought because it's like a Volcarona kind of.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the same for like Slitherwing. It's like it doesn't, and it's like I'm not 100% sure it could, but I don't think so.
Right. Yeah. Either way, really good. Breloom, really nice priority with Mark Punch and good utility with Spore.
Yeah, definitely.
I am a big fan of Terra Fairy Crest. I think it covers its psychic weakness very well with Dark not being weak to Ghost after it terrors.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I think that was a good pick by him. Very, very difficult to kill.
Yeah,
think-
Cresselia's always been a bitch like that.
I think Tauros,
Great value
he's
pick.
very, very good value. Probably one of the best value picks he could have got.
Yeah, we definitely undermined. We just forgot about his existence down there in 6 points. We needed to move that man up.
For sure, but yeah, just overall incredible. Like, does Iron Moth get defog?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I mean, Iron Tread gets spin, which is nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna
So
also
I'm-
say he even said this himself. The Greninja he wasn't really gonna be getting, but the fact that it made it all the way down to round 5, he said himself, "I guess I'll get it." But it did help him out
Yeah.
with his speed tiers. You do generally want to have him on above 115 as your fastest. And well, I don't know if he had Electrode in mind, but I wouldn't really count that as your better speed, because as Ziggy so elegantly put, it's not a very good Pokemon.
Yeah, probably not the best option. But look, for 2 points, you could do worse.
For sure.
Very little removal, unfortunately, if Iron Moth doesn't get defog. Also a bit fighting weak as well, relying quite a lot on that Cresselia.
Yeah, his only
I
resists
believe
are...
Iron Moth is poison. But,
Yeah, his only resists are Cress and Moth. That's it.
yeah. So not the greatest.
Yeah,
especially considering.
Moth, I am also pretty sure is like very frail. So it's a glass cannon, from what I understand. So it also isn't. It's like the Chanpao, but not. It's where it's like it's technically a resist, but it's not exactly a good one.
Yeah.
Cresselia is gonna
excellent.
not break to a fighting one at all between either Terra or just Fairy, Psychic. But yeah.
I think overall, though, just as a player, Mez, well, as we all know, from zero to hero,
he is Palafin.
pretty much, he literally is Palafin.
For those who
went
don't
endless
get-
seasons ago, had a really good training arc in draft. In
Yeah.
another unknown server.
No, it was in Victory Road. It was his own server.
Oh, Victory Road, was it?
Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
like season 3 there or something.
But had an apparent training arc and
Then came
all of a
back to get the
sudden become
championship.
one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, man literally went and 14th place, like 1-7, I think. Inc.
No, he didn't even get a win.
Really? Okay, 0-8. Then and we had this off season where he went and played in his own league, Victory Road, and then he came back for season 6, and he fucking became the champion. Literally is Palafin from zero to hero.
Yeah, quite literally. I think he comes second here.
I put him at
Very
third.
potentially first as well if Sean doesn't rack up some early wins. Yeah, I would say he's a dark horse pick to first place if Sean isn't going to be.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, he's very good. See, I've put him in third, and I put like Gray in second. But the issue with Gray is while he's in my opinion, he's definitely better than Mez. Still, Gray tends to get tilted as well as gets very unlucky, which probably means that he won't come in second as I put him. So Mez is probably a better second in place choice, in all honesty.
Yeah, I have very lots of confidence in Mez. Gray's good, but like you mentioned, gets tilted. I don't feel like he takes the regular season all too seriously.
No, he doesn't.
Really
He-
only plays his best games in playoffs.
Yeah,
Which
he
is not
fucks
always
around.
the worst thing.
Yeah. If you're good enough to fuck around and still make playoffs, why not fuck around, you know?
100%.
I think that's all for Mez, right, Ziggle?
Yep, sure
Alright,
is.
let's move on to Porychad, our D-Biv winner. Did I say D?
Yeah,
Hang on, I think I
I
said... Hang on,
initially
Ziggy,
didn't
hold on,
like
hold on.
this team.
I think I said D-Biv instead of B-Div.
Yeah, Steve, both winning over there.
Yeah. So this
I
is...
initially didn't like this team, but after the trades he made in the Grace, I've come to like it a lot more. I think Slowking Amoonguss really complements his offensive threats very well. I think Ursaluna is a very strong Pokemon.
Ursaluna is the king, okay? Don't ever say anything bad about my boy.
I never said that, but yeah, Ursaluna behind screens or in Trick Room, super duper scary.
Yeah, definitely.
Backed up by Corviknight, which provides really good utility and the best removal in the game.
Not to mention Grimmsnarl, which is like offensive if keys, which makes it the best screen setter, and because it can also punch things.
Yeah, 100% offers some really good power there. Rotom, well, we all know how big of a fan I am of Rotom.
Yeah, you love either Wash Tom, Heat Tom.
Yeah, just one of them, any of them. But has got a bit nerfed in the later gens, but is still a really solid pick. Really
sure.
good bulky fire. Salamence, obviously with the option to go either Intimidate or Moxie, is really good. Can't go wrong with either ability.
Sure, Gardekuno with the Fighting Terror is actually fairly good, surprisingly. Whoever thought Articuno could find a niche that it's actually not shit, even if it is the Galar form.
100%, yeah. I've never really seen Gala Articuno used before, so really looking forward to see what he comes up with. Tyranitar, not much needs to be said.
Yeah, Tyranitar will always be a beast.
Super solid Sand Center.
Honestly, Avalog Hisui in Sand might actually not be the most frail things, especially now that I think about it.
Yeah, no, I think it complements Avalog really well. That is until it tears.
Well, yeah, but, you know.
But in saying that, you could have picked a worse Terra type with Ghost covering its insane biting weakness.
For sure.
And as I touched on in the beginning, Slowking Amoonguss, very, very good regenerated defensive core.
Yeah. My biggest issue with this team is it's very slow, which is I've got as both pro and con, because as the other con, it's very, very reliant on Trick Room, I think.
Too reliant on Trick Room, unfortunately.
Yeah, not missing out on that, like, as we mentioned earlier, having a 115 speed point or above, missing out on that and having the fastest mon be 100 is really bad. 100's a easy speed tier to... It's both a really good and a really bad speed tier. It allows you to outspeed a lot, but for any actually fast, like, dedicated fast mon, it's a slow tier, which makes it, like, makes having it as your fastest mon a really unfortunate situation. Meaning, for anything faster, he's going to want to Scarf, but even then, that means that he's locked in, and anything else will just Scarf back, and they'll always be faster anyway.
Yeah, despite going full Trick Room, definitely think he should have picked up at least one base 115 to make it so anything above that can't go modest.
Yeah.
But I feel like...
On that note as well, something I didn't realize about Trick Room teams, like in draft, because I don't think in any of the drafts we've ever had, anyone's actually gone dedicated Trick Room, right, Ziggy?
Not that I can think of.
But on that note...
And that is probably for a good reason. If you're using Trick Room every week, it becomes very predictable. And all it takes is for people to stop it to absolutely mess up your slow team.
Yeah, and something which is why I brought this up, is if they know you're going to be a Trick Room team, then it pretty much always allows them to go Adamant or Modest, because they know they're not going to outspeed anyway. If anything, going with the higher damage gives them a chance to outslow things anyway.
Yeah, 100%. And as you touched on in your cons as well, I'm noticing there's a very, very big rock weakness in his team.
Definitely.
Only having Ursaluna as a resist is very, very bad. I know he's got terrifying Gala Articuno, but you can't be relying on those two only, especially with rock types being as prominent as they are offensively.
Yeah. Another speaking of the rocks, on the opposite side of the ground spectrum, we have Earthquake, which will never be a fucking issue because he's got Corviknight, Rotom Heat, Salamence, Gardecuno. Like fuck, he's over here rocking 4 ground immunities like a king.
And a resist and a Mungus too.
Yeah, and a good resist. Like he's fucking balling, man.
Wait, actually, no, my bad. It's part poison. It's actually neutral. Yeah, scratch that. About the placements though, I put him last. I know he has defeated some solid players in the B division. But the B division is a far cry from the A division, and I feel like he's going to be very shocked at the players he's going to have to play.
Yeah, I agree. He's gonna, cause as one of the new players from the B Div, he kind of was underestimated a lot, and that allowed him to, well, I mean, you could say the same for A. It allows him to play like with people taking him less seriously, but some people, I mean, Akshi's definitely one of them. Mez is one of them. Akshi's not even fucking playing, but as well as Sean and Leafeon and Gallade, and there's probably others, but mainstays. They won't underestimate him just because he's new. They'll always go full on, and they won't take prisoners.
Yeah, sure. So I feel like he'll be very surprised by that.
Yeah.
I think he'll be losing a lot of those games by very high scores, and the differential will eventually catch up to him. And that's where I feel like you have the edge on him, Viper.
Quite possibly.
Is where you've played a lot of top players and even upset them at times when you shouldn't have. And that's, I feel like, where you'll prevail and not come last. But,
it's also worth noting he doesn't have very many hazards. Not
great hazards aside from T-Tar, Avalugg, and obviously you don't want to be relying on Avalugg for that. Most of his hazards coming from the lower end of the spectrum, aside from T-Tar. So
yeah,
not fantastic unless Luna gets rocks. I'm not too sure.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so hazards aren't great at all.
Hazards are a very helpful thing for hyper offense teams. And I mean, this isn't exactly hyper offense, but Trick Room hyper offense is same thing, close enough.
Any damage helps. But I feel like it's going to be a long season for poor Porychad, and he might find himself in B again.
Possibly. All right, you ready to move on?
Sure.
Up next, we have Copenhagen Gallades. I'm just going to start off here. I couldn't really find many flaws with this team. It is fairly it's not a little. It's fairly ground weak, only having one resist in Masquerada, which has protein, meaning it'll not stay a resist anyway. But just overall, it doesn't have too many good options. It has Slowbro, and Fortress, which will always be defensive tanks, but also just having Muck, Jolt, Gudra, Gengar, Arcanine. He just has a lot of weaknesses to Earthquake, and yeah, I feel like it could be an issue for him.
Yeah, definitely not the best answers to Earthquake. I feel like he has quite a few defensive walls that can take attacks from Earthquake very well.
Well, that's why I mentioned Slowbro and Fortress.
Despite only being neutral. Having said that, though, having that many mons, or not that many mons that can resist ground for you, isn't ideal. This team as a whole, though,
is fucking nutty.
I think what sets it back is there's no big 18-point, something to build the team around.
I think you're underestimating
aside from Great Tusk.
Even Masquerada, I think you're underestimating.
Yeah.
And Arcanine. Arcanine Hisui is a fucking monster.
No, I mean, because there's no cons with it, but it's not the best draft. I think Mez's draft is better. And has more cons,
for
you know
sure.
what I mean? But that's because of how good his mons are on his team.
Yeah, that's fair.
With Gallade, his mons are good, but there's no like big Chien power. And I guess when you're 8th on the draft picks, you can't expect that.
I was gonna say there's no 18 pointers left it by 8th pick.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this is a bad draft at all. It's a very, very good draft, but the reason it's not the best draft, despite having like literally no cons aside from a ground weakness, is because it's lacking that super good mon. That's like top tier, but like you can't really do much about that at 8th.
Yeah, I suppose. It's definitely worth noting how many fucking hazards he has. Is Tusk, Arcanine in Gudra. I think Dunsparce gets some, Fortress, Muck. He has every kind of hazard and like 3 Pokemon to set each. Like he has so many fucking hazards, it's stupid.
Yeah, lots of removal options. Great Tusk being the most prominent because that comes every week.
I mean, Fortress is also great for removing.
Yeah, but like 6 points isn't ideally something you want to stoop to every week.
I mean, Fortress, he's one of the better 6-pointers. He's a defensive bitch. Like he'll take that.
Yeah, only being weak to fire is nice as well.
Yeah,
I'm looking
and
forward to
sturdy.
seeing how he uses Jolteon. I think that thing with Terra Ice.
Yeah, it's like budget goddamn Reggie Lucky.
Yeah, heavy duty boots, Calm Mind, Terra Ice is very good. Not a lot can take attacks from that. And
Yeah,
if you
Bolt
get
Beam
set
just
up,
being the
it's
king
very
of
deadly.
Bolt Beam just being the king of fucking teams down.
Yeah, for sure. I would say, I'm just double checking before I say it because I might be incredibly wrong. I think potentially another disadvantage we could have put is maybe lack of momentum. Aside from U-turn Meowscarada and Volt Switch Jolteon, I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, that's definitely a fair con. Not much.
Yeah, not much momentum. I just noticed that now. But yeah, only having those two, I would have ideally had one more. But look, I'm not like, saying this is the worst draft because of it. I definitely think this is like the upper echelon.
Oh yeah,
of the drafts.
Tom's like Chris, where he always seems to draft fairly well.
Yeah, always. I like his I like the way he battles. I think he's very like good at analyzing situations. And if you're making YouTube videos on, every battle that you do, you have to be, I suppose.
I was gonna say, yeah, he does his own YouTube. In fact, I'm sure he's gonna be making one of these fucking power ranking videos himself.
For sure. Go check him out. Even though everyone checking this out has probably already seen him, but yeah, I put him in 5th place. I took a look at his schedule just after the drafts finished, and I think it's the easiest of all schedules. On top of that, I think he's a very competent player, as mentioned before. So I think he's a very dark horse shot of making the 4, but I've got him just finishing in 5th.
I was gonna say that's definitely one of the darker horses I've ever seen. But he like with Chris, I always feel like he just a little bit underperforms, like compared to he definitely not as much as Chris. Obviously, Chris he almost always underperforms based on what you're thinking from his drafting ability. But I feel like Gallade here has the same issue, just not as severely. So there's no doubt he'll make playoffs in my opinion, but I don't think he'll make it very.
He's a mainstay.
That's what I mean. He's definitely making
finishes...
it. I think it'll be lower in it. Like I can see him coming in the like 6 to 8 range.
Yeah, I'd say worst case that's where he finishes.
Yeah, like I said, I don't see him. Don't think it's likely he'll miss out on playoffs. Very unlikely in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Anything else that hasn't been said?
I was gonna say, maybe mentioning his speed tiers here. Having 3 mons above at or above 110 is really nice for him. It allows him to outspeed a lot of fast mons. Jolteon being 130 is very nice as well. Like how many mons in this meta are not in this meta, but like in the game, like post home draft, are above 130. There's obviously Regieleki, but outside of that, I feel like all the faster mons just aren't in the game.
Is Aerodactyl in the game?
Nope.
Okay, well, I was going to say that's 130.
That's what I mean. I can't think of any mon that's faster outside of Regieleki. I think everything's faster.
And Electrode. You don't get
Oh,
much.
yeah. Sorry, and Electrode, but again, they're both not very... Well, Regieleki is not bad, but Electrode isn't exactly fantastic. But, I think it's like the... Okay, we'll say third... Oh, is Ninjask in this game?
I'm pretty sure Bundle outspeeds.
Does it?
From memory. Yeah, I think it's like 136 Bundle, if I remember correctly.
Alright, but it's still, like, there's very few mons.
Yeah, I know what you mean. His speed tiers are very, very good. No beasts on 100, but those can easily be substituted by 95s. Those work just fine as well if your next speed above it's 110.
Yeah.
Not
Also,
gonna find
just
that
checked,
many
yes. Bundle is indeed 136.
Yeah, okay.
So there's like 4 Pokemon faster than it, and only one of them's actually good.
But yeah, you're not gonna catch anything that shouldn't be going like modest adamant between those speed ranges. I think he's got one of the best speed tiers in the league.
I agree. It's just very good. He does have quite a few he has quite a few slower mons, but I think it's fairly well balanced out by his quite a few fastest mons, you know?
Yeah, he's got a good mix of both, and I think Muck's a very good value pick too. I know it's like, gonna see very little game time, but I think for 2 points, I think Muck gets Toxic Spikes now.
I think so, yeah.
I'm not sure of like the new Gen 9 stuff, but I'm pretty sure it does.
I think so.
Yeah, getting rid of Toxic Spikes. Unfortunate that I think it lost knockoff regular Muck.
Yeah, it did.
But it's one of the bulkier special defenders with 100 HP and base 105 Spadef.
So it's better than Mew.
Base 100 attack. So it's good, Muck. I'm a very big fan.
Yeah, for sure. Muck is is definitely a good budget 2-pointer, honestly.
Yeah, gets some priority with Shadow Sneak as well.
Oh, that's cool.
And Poison Touch as well. It's a good mon.
Anything else? I think I'm good.
Yeah, I've said what I needed to say.
All right, moving on to number 9, we have Leafeon. He has a stupid fucking... What is this, honestly?
Probably the most synergized team I've ever seen, and the most Leafeon team I've ever seen.
The only thing missing to making it a Leafeon team is goddamn keys that you stole from him.
Yeah, Klefki. And he was going to take him too.
Yeah, he fully planned on taking the Klefki, but you stole it from him.
His precious Tapu Bulu couldn't make the gen this time, so he had to substitute with Rillaboom.
Which isn't Rillaboom generally considered the better Bulu?
I think so. I mean, before it lost Grassy Glide, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get Bulu anymore, so Rillaboom's your next best option. I'm expecting Leafeon to have a very good season.
Yeah.
I think Dragapult is one of, if not the best draft mon in the game. Heatran under grassy terrain is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, for
meaning
sure.
you're going to have to run anything besides EQ.
Yeah, high horsepower is a goddamn bitch. Also, I found another Pokemon faster than Jolteon, so there's like 5 things faster and only 2 are good. We got it, lads.
Rillaboom, obviously, aside from being a Terra setter, very good knockoff and U-turn mon.
Definitely.
Palucha, probably one of the best win cons in the game, still.
Yeah,
even
definitely.
despite the removal of the Bulus. Samurott being a pretty solid option with Caesar's Edge, setting up spikes.
His Suirod is an absolute menace. It's like, he's been running through OU lately. It's fucking insane.
Florges, I have come to like in the new meta. I think it was outclassed by a lot of other fairies in past gens, but Florges now offers very good value in a meta where there's very little fairies.
I still don't like Florges. It's too much of a cleric for me. I don't like clerics.
Yeah, well, if you're looking for any healers, then Florges is among the few you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Donphan, I think, is really good. With the addition of Trailblaze, especially in grassy terrain, plus it gets Ice Spinner now, which is very good ice coverage.
Definitely.
I'm pretty sure it gets Ice Spinner anyway.
Yeah, it does.
Huh?
It does.
Yeah, it does. Okay, yeah, just making sure.
To add to its Ice Shard, Ice
and
coverage.
Ice Shard as well. Yeah, Donphan, very good value for a ground type.
Donphan's always been a really solid mon, honestly.
It always has, and it's only getting better with the new gens. Spikes as well. No, it doesn't get spikes, I don't think.
I don't think so. It gets rocks.
No, okay, never mind. It's one of the few that didn't.
It's kind of odd what gets it and what doesn't. Like, why of all things does Donphan not get spikes?
Yeah, it's a bit strange. You think if every ground type on the planet got it, Donphan would join it, but apparently not. Electros, very solid mon. Not much to really say about it. No weaknesses, lots of coverage. Mouse Hold, I'm really looking forward to seeing how he uses.
Mouse Hold's a fun mon.
It's a fun mon. I forget what the move is called, but it's something...
Population Bomb.
Huh?
Population Bomb. Or Tidy Up.
No, not that one.
Tidy Up?
The one that cleans.
Yeah, Tidy Up.
Tidy Up, that's it. Is that the one that gets rid of hazards and boosts the attack?
Yup, and I think it's attack and defense, and removes hazards.
Yeah, no, I think very unique removal option right there.
For sure.
Plus population.
You go.
Yeah, plus population bomb. Anything that isn't Rocky Helmet is not gonna appreciate it.
Unless they're normal or
Sui, I gave to him originally.
Nice flex.
Because I used to have it on my team at one point, but he wanted it, he got it, and he's now got probably among the better Eviolite users.
Yeah, that's fair.
Good spikes option. I really like his team.
Yeah, it's got so many good qualities. Half his team gets some sort of like U-turn, Volt Switch, etc. Between Polt, Boom, Hawlucha, Electros. I think Mousehold also gets U-turn. Like, he has a good amount of momentum, well as
very good momentum.
As well as 3 knockoff is with Quillfish, Samurott, and actually no, Rillaboom lost it, didn't it?
Did
Rillaboom lose knockoff? I think it did, right?
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't? Okay, yeah, which is still makes it good. It's got, as Ziggy was saying earlier, a good priority as well with Ice Shard and fucking... What's this other fucker's shit? I'm having a mental blank. 2 Aqua Jetters as well.
I think Samurott gets Sucker Punch.
Yeah, Sucker Punch and Aqua Jet, both Samurott and Quillfish get. With the removal of Mousehold, Donphan, and Hawlucha, as well as it's got a lot of pros to it, you know. My biggest issue is the speed though. Going from 111
100. I was about to say.
Yeah, going from 111 to 85 is really bad. That's a massive fucking gap. But then not only having 1 but 3 85s is really bad to repeat that many times, because it means that like a mon that's above 99, I think, or maybe 98 can go adamant and outspeed your majority of your mons, you know?
Yeah, look, aside from his good synergy, yeah, his speed is a real concern in the middle there. Anything that's base 100 or higher and under 11 is going to absolutely run circles around those mons below them.
Yeah, definitely.
A pretty massive, I'm just double checking the weaknesses now.
He's got a big fairy and ice weakness.
Yeah, his only fairy resist, unfortunately, is Heatran.
Which a lot of fairies get earth power as well.
Yeah, 100%. And Ice Week, I would just see.
Again, Heat Train is one of his few options, and then
And
also
Samurott gets, yeah.
Yeah, Samurott is, but then again, it
Ice
just
is a tiny bit more forgivable, but Fairy, I mean, look, there's not a whole lot you can do about it.
yeah.
Fairy is
Fairy
very
being
tight.
Fairy Week isn't even too bad in this meta because again, there's very few fairies, and again, and even the ones that are there's even fewer offensive fairies. A lot of them are defensive, like Florges there.
Yeah, you're not going to get a lot of fairies, thankfully, but unfortunately, Terra Fairy is just so common in this gen. You
Yeah.
can't overlook it. So, yeah, overall, I feel like Bacchus is going to have an incredible season.
Yeah, we've both put him at fourth place as well.
Yeah, top four for sure for me. He's always around there. He had a couple of seasons where he fell off, but
Which
I
I
think
didn't.
he's back at his best.
I was gonna say we didn't remember. I don't know if you remember, but when we were at the wedding, he said the reason for that is because he was busy working extra and planning the wedding, like working extra to pay for the wedding, obviously. But so he just didn't have much time, and obviously he still wanted to play because we all love playing Mons here. But that was the main reason. He just put a lot less effort in because he was stressed or busy from work and wedding planning.
Yeah, obviously understandable. Life before Mons.
Oh, 100%. But like
Obviously,
now that that's all dealt with, he's full storm back into it. Going like the two seasons that he had problems, he was at like I think between 9 and 10, like between like 8 and 11 or so between the two seasons. And
yeah,
then
he really fell off. But,
yeah, and then last
look,
season when he came back, he came like what was it, fourth or fifth, I think.
Yeah,
Maybe even third. He came in that area. He just like shot back up to his former prime.
yeah. I think he's gonna channel his inner wife buff and just
Yes, the wife
run
boost.
rampant on the whole competition. Potentially even finish in the two. Who knows? I think he's got the team to do it if he can fill that speed gap.
Yeah, I think that speed gap will be too much of a burden on him, and he'll end up swapping probably Mousehold out for some like base 101 or something around their speed tier.
Potentially. I'm very looking forward to seeing how he does it and how he changes his team if he does. He's got that good synergy that I don't think he needs to necessarily right
Possibly.
now. But definitely down the line, an option to look at for sure.
Yeah. All right. I think we're done here.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
Moving on to our next new person, we have Riss. Yeah, so he is the owner of WPF. If anyone doesn't know, that is the largest draft league. It's got like 18 different tiers. It's kind of fucking nutty.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how Riz does in this league. An absolute honor to have someone like him play for us. It's going to be very fun when I do battle him. I do end up battling him in week 6. So that'll be, yeah, a very long time since I've last played him. But looking forward to the challenge.
Yep.
As per his draft, I think he's very, very good.
Yeah, it's a fairly fucking scary draft, honestly.
Probably one of the more offensive drafts and definitely a really, really formidable one.
Yeah.
I think Roaring Moon, despite not having Terra, is very, very good.
Yeah, I think it's also like arguably one of the best speed tiers, having like 2 of like each like color rating. It's very well balanced. I like it.
Yeah, for sure.
It makes my autism happy.
It just I just noticed that now, and you're making me laugh. Stop it. But,
I'm right though.
yeah, I know you're right. Yeah, obviously very good. Torn T, despite the loss of Defog.
Yeah, I lost
and knockoff.
Yeah, I lost majority of its
very
utility.
prominent. Nasty Plot and Hurricane. My most favorite move in the game, Hurricane.
We're aware.
So I'm a bit biased there, but
I want to talk about its
Nasty
sun
Plot.
weakness though, real quick. Yes, he has Photosynthesis, Roaring Moon, and Sandy Shocks, as well as Scavillion and fire typing to help Sun, and also like solar beams will also help for that. But at the same time, he also has Scizor, Quackavole, Hurricane, and so it's a very double-edged sword. It helps like a 3 Pokemon, but also hinders 3 Pokemon. Which
there's always Air Slash to kind of help that.
Well, it wouldn't really be Air Slash. It'd probably be Breakwind Storm or whatever. But it's still.
Well, yeah. I forget that move exists.
Yeah, but the point remains though, having to down tier your flying type move can cause problems later. Yeah. As well as Quackavole is a very nice sweeper with Aqua Step, Ep, and Moxie. Just being weaker also causes problems. And Scizor is mainly on rain teams from what I'm aware, because, you know, rain stops fire and fire is its thing. But Riss did make a very good comment to himself, well, to me, about why Scizor doesn't really matter, is the fact that it's going to die to a fire move anyway, which is kind of valid. I can't deny that. It's pretty valid.
Yeah, look, you'd be dumb to leave it on a fire move in the first place, unless it's like an unexpected Terra Fire, which is impossible because we have set Terra types. Scizor is not to be left on any fire move.
I would really like if one day he died to a weather ball that came out of fucking nowhere, just because I think it'd be funny.
Yeah, that is always a thing. Depends on what gets Weather Ball now.
I was gonna say, I actually have no idea what mons have Weather Ball in this game.
Yeah, I have to look it up, but I am really looking forward to seeing how he works with both Zoroark, Hisui, and Sandy Shocks in particular. With Terra Ice.
Yeah, Bolt Beam is already good, but having Bolt Beam and Earth Power is fucking great. I don't have words to describe that, but that's such a good offensive monster of a mon with
there's nothing that can cover it.
No, there's not.
Aside from my mighty Whiskash, there's not much that can deal with it.
Yeah, literally Whiskash is Swampet's not in this meta, but like Gastrodon and like
Quagsire for Sean's team.
Yeah, there's like 3 Pokemon that can deal with it effectively, which is not a lot.
Yeah, definitely not a lot.
It's also the Sacred 101 speed tier to get rid of any base 100s that want to do something.
Yeah, you're gonna have to really outspeed it if you want to kind of deal with it well. But even then, in Photosynthesis Sun, it's like there's not a lot of hope of doing that.
Proto speed.
Honestly, I think this is like up there with the top offensive drafts. I think Zoroark Hisui is going to be very tricky with its illusion. Torkoal, nice removal. Sun setup as well. And Scizor, obviously another removal option and good momentum. Diancie with the bulky Psychic. I'm not sure if it gets spikes, but it definitely gets rocks.
I don't think it gets spikes.
Okay, yeah, I don't think so either, but it's got some good utility there, dual screens as well.
Yeah.
Slowbro, I think, is one of the better poison types you could have picked up.
Definitely is.
At value. Very bulky. Shell Side Arm is a very good poison move.
I love that attack.
In my opinion.
I actually really like the Quick Claw, Belly Drum, Quick Draw core. It's surprisingly good.
Yeah, it's definitely good. And Scovillain, I think, is going to be extremely scary for a lot of teams as well.
Definitely. And making it Terra Fairy makes it even scarier, honestly.
I think the best way to beat his team is to beat his son.
Yeah. Well, time for a manual setting team, don't you think, Ziggy?
I'll say. Yeah, definitely going to be very interesting when it comes to our battle. Look out. Whiskash is coming for that Sandy Shocks.
I also think it's very definitely worth pointing out his 0 resists. His only answer to ground types is Taunt, but a lot of ground mons get rock moves to deal with it anyway. And like it just doesn't get much coverage. It has Grass Knot, but if they're not heavy, then it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah. Definitely, ground is a massive problem for this team. and I'm sure later on the season, if too many ground types become an issue for him, he's going to look to relect that weakness. But in saying that, I still think he's going to be finishing within the eight. I've got him a bit lower because I'm not too sure how good he's become since I've last played him.
Yeah, I've mostly just got him. I've never played him. I've never seen him battle. I'm. There's no doubt he's very knowledgeable, but knowledge doesn't always equal power. But I'm taking his endorsement from Gray and using that as evidence to just say, fuck it, he's up there.
Yeah, I was close to putting him in 5th place as well. It was a toss-up between him and Thomas, but ultimately I decided with Thomas, the way he battles and, his easier schedule.
Yeah, I haven't really taken schedules into account on mine.
Yeah, I mean, I had a bit of a look. I didn't look at everyone's entirely, but I noticed Thomas's was very easy. So I put him in 6th place, but look, he could finish higher. I can see if he can fix his ground weakness that,
or just overall work around it.
Very hard to stop.
Yeah. Anything else from you, Gray? Ziggy? You're not Gray.
Calling me Gray? No, not really. Good team.
Actually, I have one more thing. Risk, get an ice type. That way you can have one of every type, and it can be very... Well, not one, you have 2 fires, but, it can be very satisfying to have an ice. I guess you do have Terra Ice. Maybe... You know what? You have every type covered. I don't care. Never mind. Moving on. Helsinki Hydreigons. Our number 11. His team is fucking stupidly good. It's just kind of insane, honestly.
Yeah, his team's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Typhlosion Hisui can quite literally 2-co, max HP, max Bedef, Everlight Chansey with Eruption and Terra Fire. It is absolute. There is only one better fire type with which is Chi-Yu, but even still, I don't care, man. Typhlosion and Hisui is fucking broken, and I love it. Just had to get that out there, I'm sorry.
I've never seen Typhlosion battle myself, but really looking forward to when I do. I'm really a bit worried about his between 136 and 106. I'm not sure if 120 outspeeds
106? I don't think it does.
Does 120 outspeed? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. Do you want to check that real quick?
I know 125 does, but yeah, just bear with me here.
Yeah, while he's calculating that, I'll run through some other bullshit. On the cons, Articuno's existence. I fucking hate this mon so goddamn much. Defense overall though, defensively, he's got quite a few good parts. There's not really any easy way to break through his team, but I am gonna note that a lot of his best mons are weak to rock. Even though he does have quite a few resists, it's also got Bundle, Dragonite, Enamorus, and obviously Articuno and Typhlosion. Not that Articuno is one of his best mons, but that's still 1, 3, 2, 3, 4. 4 of his best 6 mons, I would say, are all weak to rock, which can probably lead to some issues, and he'll have to be running boots on a lot of his mons, I think, which can hinder other things. I think I kind of like his speed tiers. There is a bit of a, the 30-point gap isn't the greatest, but having Enamorus at 106 is a really nice speed tier. As well as Bundle. Again, it's the only good thing that the only good mon that outspeeds it is Dragapult. There is obviously the other two, but they're not good, so we don't care about them.
Okay, I just looked it up. So it needs to be base 122 or higher.
So my Sneasler can't outspeed it.
Yeah. So look, I mean, you could do a bit better, maybe inch it up to 110. So Weavile and Greninja and
Noivern.
Just all those sorts of things don't outspeed you.
I honestly don't see it as much of an issue. Enamorus is a really good offensive fairy type. I'd probably argue it's the best outside maybe like whatchamacallit? Fuck, I'm blanking on it. Goddamn Azumarill with goddamn huge power.
But going on to his mons, I like Chilling Reception with Iron Bundle. That was a combination I tried to use back in Victory Road, just with the wrong Slowking.
Yeah. Yeah, the ice getting the defense boost is really helpful for a lot of ice types. You know what? It actually might make Articuno not the biggest issue on this team.
Yeah, I think he really helped Articuno, and I think that's great. A value pick from him. I think he has a lot of great value picks. The thing that scares me the most on his team is Iron Hands Terror.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Holy shit.
That's another mon that we definitely overlooked.
Buff that to 13 is scary.
Yeah, that's definitely another mon that we overlooked and didn't realize how broken it was.
But on top of that, he's got Dragonite with obviously multi-scale. Is it multi-scale?
Yes.
Yeah, multi-scale. And Dragon Dance. As Viper mentioned.
Thank God it's not Terra normal.
Yeah, obviously one of the best offensive fairies, as Viper mentioned, Enamorous. Wo-Chen, I think, is a very solid bulky grass with its ability.
Definitely.
Could have terrored it too, actually.
Not with Iron Hands. It's 22.
Yeah, I know, but like, you know, if it was on any other team, it could have been terrored. Earthworm, a very nice steel type, despite the loss of Shed Tail. Immune to ground, which is always a good thing to have.
Definitely. He has so many goddamn ground immunities as well, actually.
Yeah, he does. Mudsdale, probably one of the best
middling
low-tier grounds.
Yeah, middling ground.
Yeah, great value for an 8-point pick.
Definitely.
And Kamala with, I think it still gets knockoff, but I'm not sure.
I have no idea. What the fuck does Kamala do, honestly?
It gets spin, it gets U-turn. I'm not sure if it gets knockoff anymore. I'll fact check that now, but gets a lot of good utility, Kamala. Can't be status, which is obviously very, very good.
Is that what Comatose does? I never knew that.
Yeah, it's obviously got its Sleep Talk last resort set that it loves to do. And I just checked, no, it doesn't get knockoff anymore. But it gets a lot of good coverage. It gets Ice Spinner now, Gunk Shot, which I actually didn't know.
I fucking love Gunk Shot. It's such a good move.
Sucker Punch for priority and Wish as well, along with Woodhammer and Yawn. It's got options.
Yeah, I think he also has a good amount of momentum. Like, Bundle obviously has Flip Turn. Dragonite, I think, has U-Turn.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't? I always thought it did.
It doesn't get U-Turn.
Fuck, what else on this team gets momentum then?
Alt Switch Iron Hands.
Oh, yeah.
I think Enamorous gets... I'm not sure if Enamorous gets U-Turn. Why are we clowning so hard right now?
I was going to say, I put in my pros plenty of momentum, but now that I'm looking at it, what the fuck has momentum?
Yeah, no, he's got Volt Switch, he's got Flip Turn, he's got U-Turn on Kamala, Chilling Reception on Slowking, so he's got options.
Yeah.
And then I think U-Turn on Articuno as well, but we're not counting too much of the low
I was going to say, I do count low tiers, I just don't count Articuno, because I think it's, like, one of the worst Pokemon to ever exist. Well, it's like probably the worst legendary, bar maybe, like, Regice.
Well, with Boots, I don't think it's awful, and in Hail as well, not too bad, but just overall... such a powerful draft, and if used, I emphasize, in the right hands, can be a top 4 team. Having said that...
Chris is known to not perform as well as his team would suggest.
Yes, unfortunately I have him finishing just outside the 8. I definitely think he'll be in and around the 8 for a while, but I do think that he'll eventually fall off and unfortunately just miss out.
He definitely can make it. He could definitely have improved since last season, but overall, generally speaking, he does underperform and just miss out on playoffs.
One of these days, I've got to do a draft and just say to Chris, draft for me, and then whatever he whips up, I'll just end up using it because his drafts are always so amazing, Chris. There's not
Yeah.
one draft I think he's built that I haven't liked.
I agree with that. He always like we said earlier, he always drafts well.
But yeah, anything that hasn't been mentioned yet, you think?
I don't think so. I think it's rocked pretty well.
All good.
Right.
Let's take off the last one.
Yeah, Mr. Gray. His team is so offensive and so goddamn fast. Literally all but 3 Pokemon are like above 90. And even still, half his team is above 100 or above, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah, fantastic speed tiers. Always the last to pick, which is super funny.
I was
But
gonna
he
say,
always
yeah.
seems to come up with some very good teams otherwise.
Definitely.
I really like his offensive continuity here.
Yeah, Lando, Cinder, Annihilate, Wake, Eek plus Garg is going to be a really hard team to go through. Like, those 4 boys, Garg and whatever else, probably Mew. Those 6 Pokemon can come to every game and he'll still do well.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously with Mew, despite losing a lot of utility,
It's still a
has
goat.
plenty of options it can go with.
Definitely.
He's got a lot of hazard control, court change on Cinderace.
He doesn't have much, actually. He only has 2 with hazard control, and court change
Well,
being one
wait,
of them.
oh fuck, Lando doesn't, and Mew don't get it, okay.
No,
Not
he-
as much as I thought then.
Yeah, according to my doc, he only has 2, Rapid Spin from Toedscruel and Cinderace's Court Change, which, considering the amount of hazards his team has, actually isn't good for him to have that.
Yeah, no, I was thinking a lot of the, I'm living in the old gen, but,
Yeah.
okay, I take that back,
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a bit of an issue for him. Again, he has a lot of hazards, but won't want to ever set them because Court Change is one of his, he's not going to want to bring Toedscruel very often, which will force him to want to use Court Change a lot more. But then he can't bring his own hazard. I think it's going to fuck him over at some point, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, one thing I noticed that you haven't put down yourself is I think he's got and this is probably something you've overlooked on quite a lot of pros, is he's got good momentum.
I put it on.
Cinderace,
I put it on quite a
Lando,
few
Mew.
lads.
Hey,
I put it on quite a few lads.
did you?
Yeah.
I remember you forgot it with another one. Oh no, that was like not much momentum with Thomas's draft. Never mind.
Yeah, this one has amazing momentum.
Yeah. Okay, no.
That
I
one,
wasn't looking
yeah.
at the too much. I think Gray has really good momentum too. Cinderace, Lando, Mew, Annihilate, Rotom. Lots of options to get all his powerful mons in.
Definitely. And the fact that Annihilate is able to... the thing that I think makes Annihilate most broken is the fact that if you swap it out and you swap it back in, it still keeps all of its boosts for Rage Fist. If that reset upon switch, it would still be a really good mon, but it would probably be like 14 points. But the fact that it keeps it is honestly stupidly good.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I haven't played against or even seen Annihilate battle myself. Haven't seen a lot of Gen 9 to be fair, but I'm
yeah.
really looking forward to see how he uses that throughout the season. I think Toedscruel can be very cool with Spore and
I think I think it's worth mentioning because I'm assuming you forget. Toedscruel's ability means it gets minus priority on Spore.
wait. So what does that mean?
So its ability, Mycelial Might, which sounds like a good ability, actually gives -1 priority to all status moves, including Spore.
Well, that sounds like a pretty shit ability.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's its only ability.
Oh, well, that's a bit of a shame, but
Yeah, it's really fucking unfortunate.
yeah, I mean, look, Spore is Spore, and You know, if you're putting stuff to sleep, it's not like, unless you're getting taunted, doesn't matter too much anyway.
I mean, but as a base 100, you'd actually be able to outspeed and spore quite a few things, but because of its ability, it just can't.
Yeah. No, very unfortunate. Could be good on some randomizers, but yeah. Look, I mean, I still think it's a way to help get his offensive threats into the game.
Definitely.
Like Nutipot Landorus and Walking Wake is another one that I'm looking forward to seeing him use.
Agreed.
Yeah, sunsetting with some of his weather setters. I'm assuming he has a lot of those options. Nothing like Torkoal, obviously.
I was going to say, I have no idea, dude.
Garganical, I think, is going to be a really nice pick for him as well.
Garganical is such a fucking cunt of a mon. It'll do really well as like a defensive backbone alongside Mew for this team.
Yeah. Yeah, it obviously is probably the bulkiest, I think, rock type out there.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely shits all over the likes of Registeel, getting its own recovery. Regirock, sorry, getting its own recovery.
And also Salt Cure being such a broken move.
Salt Cure is probably the most broken move in the game. It's if you don't have Covert Cloak, yeah, it shits on you.
Yeah, for sure. I also want to bring up the fact that his team's kind of Dragon Weak. I mean, he has Tink, but Tink's also fucking shit. And outside of Tink, he has 0 resists. Granted, he only has 1 weakness, but like my Terra Dragon Haxorus could probably.
I was literally about to say your Terra Dragon Haxorus will enjoy this.
Yeah, like Scarf, it can probably just shred half the team.
Yeah, look, I mean, he has a lot of things that he can scarf himself that can make.
For sure.
Your scarf Haxorus, but yeah, I guess very Dragon Weak.
Well, I wouldn't say very. It's a little Dragon Weak.
Sorry?
I wouldn't say very, because again, he only has the 1 weakness. It's not like a crippling thing, but it's just only having 0 resists is the bigger issue.
Yeah, no, the resists, I mean, like, he doesn't have, like, a lot of Draco switch-ins, for example. He's gonna have to rely on, like, the Spadef Garganical or something. I don't know how good his Spadef is, but...
I have no idea.
Yeah, not great that Draco does so well then without Ticketon there.
Yeah, and Tink is also a very bad Pokemon.
Yeah, I would say with all that being said though, his draft, like I said, amazing offensive continuity. And
Definitely.
I feel like with the team he's built, he's able to win a lot of games very, very quickly. I've got him in the top 4 for that reason.
But like we were also saying earlier, Gray has a tendency to not take like regular season very seriously, so there's definitely a chance he'll do a lot worse.
Yeah, I've seen him linger around the 5 to 7 mark before, but I think he'll do good here. He's confident in his team. I'm confident in his team.
Same.
Yeah, I think he makes 3rd place. I think Mez finishes higher just because his team is so good, and Sean just because he's Sean.
Yeah.
But I think Gray will really compete. If he doesn't get tilted and if he actually puts a bit of effort in, the regular season, I think he can be up there.
Quite possibly. All right. Are we done for Nidoking here?
Yeah. Is there anything else, or is that it?
Yeah, I've got like a proper list so you can view all of them easier.
Yeah. I think just overall comparing our lists, it's very similar.
I was gonna say the only real big difference on our team is Umbreon and Gallade. Those are like the only real differences on our team, on our like picks.
Yeah, aside from that, 2 very like similar predictions, and I feel like it's interchangeable in a sense because if I have a good season, I can finish in the 4. We don't know how good Riz obviously is.
By the way, you know it's Riss, right?
Riz. I don't know. I say Riz so much now that
I know. It's just like you. That's what I'm asking.
in my brain.
I was gonna say like it's one of those things that's been bothering me this whole time. It's like you do know it's Riz, right? Not Riz.
Yeah. But like I say Riz because it's like I'm stuck. I don't know.
You're stuck
know
with
what I mean?
TikTok brain.
Yeah, it's my brain fucking up. But yeah, Riz. I think he has the potential to make the four, depending on whether or not Gray is like accurate with his assessment.
Same with Leafeon. Leafeon can always be a hit or a miss, realistically.
Yeah, 100%. Really just depends on how he copes with the Gen 9 meta.
Yeah,
Obviously,
he's still sticking a lot to his older shenanigans. Like he hasn't really changed up any of his strategies. If we look back at his team, it's still fairly similar. Heatran, Grassy Terrain, Lucha. The only new Pokemon he actually has is his Suirot.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, he
Yeah.
loves his Grassy Terrain, and he's always been a big fan of it, and I don't see a reason why it can't work for him here if he can fix that speed gap like we mentioned before. But, yeah, like I said, I think if Chris has a good season and he's improved, he can definitely make the four.
I agree.
I'm unfortunately not predicting that though. I think there's a lot of chances that anyone between the places of like 1 to 9 can make top four. You can argue anyone from there. I would say anyone below that, probably not. I can see a case for you making the 8 if you have a good season like you did in Victory Road.
Yeah, I came 4th there.
Yeah, so
But
there's
that
no
Victory
reason
Road
to
is
say
also
why you can't
much.
replicate that.
Victory Road's also a much easier league than this.
It is, but I feel like this would be a good challenge for you.
Yeah. I think if I had a better team, I probably could, but I don't think my team is the right team for this, but I'm also too stubborn to make any massive changes, and I wanna at least try it out with how the team is. But by the time I'm done trying it out and actually am willing to make changes, it'll be too late, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm too
But
stubborn.
Look, I guess overall, like, both our predictions are pretty solid, but I just feel like predicting exactly what's gonna happen is just gonna be so hard because
Agreed.
there's not a lot between a lot of these players.
Definitely.
I always predict myself to come within 7th, and then I end up finishing like 3rd.
I was gonna say I actually don't think that's gonna be the case this time.
I don't either, which is why I have myself in 7th again.
Just be glad Akshi's in here. You'd be fighting for 8th place at that point.
Yeah, just put Akshi and like Davis in, and I might be out of the 8. But
yeah, that's actually a scary thought, hey Ziggy.
it definitely is. But we'll see what happens. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how it turns out. I think this is like one of the more competitive seasons for sure. Lots of good players.
It's a little sad we don't have Akshi here to show off his bullshit, eh?
Yeah, unfortunately wanted a break, but look, you can't make players play if they don't want to. I'm sure he'll be in future seasons.
He'll return one day.
One day.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Is that the final slide?
Yes.
All good. No outro slide, nothing.
No, just back to the front.
Back to the front. Fair enough.
Yeah. So once again, it's gonna be weekly videos with various characters. I'm gonna fucking call them. So I'm gonna try my best and have a video up. Like to try and always have it up on the weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. And there'll always be a week delay on it just to allow me to get it done in that time frame. So, yeah. I think that's it. So, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see all you dudes next week. Bye-bye.
See you later.